Merry Christmas from the Flying Can Ranch at Cedar Creek, Lake, Texas. Yes, I said it. Merry Christmas. If it makes you feel better, happy holidays. It's a crisp 37 degrees out here. It's the second time I made this video as I got some facts wrong on the first one. So let me show you what I have here. We're going to do a little by way of comparison. This is the Snowpeak PR900W Gen2 PCP rifle in .22 caliber. We're going to come down this side. Down this side, we're going to rotate it, and you can see right there where the gauge is at. Now I did hit this. It was down about a quarter way. It took me maybe 90, 100 pumps to get it back up to where it is now. So I just thought I'd share that part with you. We're going to flip it over. It is a bolt action. It's a very, very light gun, and I mean very light gun. We're going to come down the line. We're going to come down the line and back up to the business end. So fact-wise, this is the 22 caliber version. I believe they also have this in 177 caliber. Now I understand the 22 caliber version had about 800 feet per second, whereas maybe the 177 was 900. It's kind of hard to dig up the information on this. I was going at it for a while, so I'm going to give you the best I can. So everything's like in British measurements or something. So the overall length of this gun is going to be 950 millimeter, which tallies out to about 37.40 in length, inches in length. Barrel length is 480 millimeter, which equals just a tad over 18 inches. The overall weight was 2,270 grams, which is 5.04 pounds. I told you this little booger is light, and I love it. Okay, so it has a 200 bar, and that equals out to about a 2,900 psi. Now, this is something I read wrong in the original video. Brock, hush! Dogs would drive you crazy, like having kids. I'm not good at these things, so bear with me. So I've got a 16.2 foot-pounds of energy is what I figured out, and the joules are 16/118, and it comes with a 7-round mag. And I think that the 177 was an 8 or 10 round mag, something like that. Like I said, it was hard to do all, excuse me, all this up. So we're going to look it over real quick. We have a little rubber butt pad right back here. It's quite comfortable. You have a little checkering right here. I love wood stocks. I know composite is better, but I just like wood stocks. I used some UDG scope mounts with a Winchester scope, leveled that on there, got it where I could still load pretty good on this tray. We'll come down here. It's a no fiber optics, pretty basic sight for elevation and windage. I want you to pay attention to that sight. We've got some more checkering right down here. This gun's in very good shape for it being used. You'll look at that front sight, you'll see that. Now your fill port, and I'll show you here to see if I can make sure I get this on the camera. You turn this piece like so until you get that little hole right there. That's where your fill port meets. I had better luck getting it on that side than the other side, or the other side I should say. Now, I want to show you something, just out of curiosity, if you'll bear with me. Put that very carefully. 1 minute, 1 second. This particular gun I'm reviewing looks a lot like my Dyna Trail Scout. I mean, it looks horrendously like it. And look at this front sight. This I just put a regular old scope. I don't remember what it was. This is the CO2 version. We'll come down here. We'll show you. Look at that front sight. The end business. Flip it around. Almost the same kind of bolt. It really looks remarkably the same. Now, I think a company, one second, let's set that down very carefully. I believe a company called Artemis released these. See, again, you can look at that front sight, or I'm sorry, the rear sight, then the front sight, and your little silencer piece right there. This gun is very quiet, just like the CO2. Now, I'm going to tell you, be very careful if you ever take this thing off, because if this comes apart and all those pieces find out, there's a specific way they need to be stacked back in there. There's a good video on YouTube, but it's a pain. Once you figure out the trick, it's not too bad, but if you ever flip them all out of there, it can be a pain. So you can look over here, sort of similar bolt is on the Trail Scout. Now, one thing I've always done with my Dianas, because I heard that this is very weak, this bolt systems, when I open them up, I just catch them deep inside, right next to the receiver, and cock them back, and then I use my thumb to feed it in and use that it falls right back in there. So this is a nice gun. It's very, 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 very good condition. I used a hand pump. I don't know if I mentioned this on this video. Brock, you barkers to be barking, don't you? I used a hand pump. I was about a quarter away from the yellow. Took me about right around 100 pumps, I guess, to bring it right up to there. So I have been filling it with my compressor. It's still holding up. We do have a cross bolt safety right down here. So if you're going to go to your left is fire, to your right is safe. We'll leave it on safe for the time being. But we're going to, I just thought the two guns looked remarkably a lot alike. Now this one's much, much lighter, or feels lighter anyway. That one's a little bit more robust. Again, that's the CO2 version. This is the PCP version. So I'm going to go in and have me a cup of coffee, let this thing load up, and then we'll put together a shooting review. I hope I have enough. I'm going to try to use the H&N Barracudas. I might be down to 10 in this one, 10 or 12, but I think we can make it happen. But this thing is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. And I did some things this weekend I probably shouldn't have, but I did it, and I'll probably hear about it from somebody, and you know who. But nonetheless, too late. So moving right along, we will put together a shooting review, and we'll move on and get on with the holiday festivities. That's how we do it at the Flying Can Ranch. Again, Merry Christmas to all of you. We'll be right back.